Yousef Miqdad has spent 21 years in multiple Israeli jails. Now 63, he walks with his grandson, who until earlier this week he had never met. On Monday, Yousef was released back into the Gaza Strip. He describes the moment after Israeli forces removed his blindfold, dropped him off on a dusty street, and told him to start walking.
I saw nothing but destruction. When I was released, I didn't even see people, except this doctor who found me in the street and called my family. I was very emotional when I saw them. I cried because of those who were killed and wounded, and those living on the streets because they have nothing, including my wife and children. We don't even have a tent to live in. My house is destroyed.
Yousef is greeted by friends and those who have come to pay their respects. Some were not even born when Israeli forces took him away more than 2 decades ago. He describes how jail conditions changed when the war began in October.
The first or second day after the war started, the prisoners were attacked and all their belongings were confiscated. Televisions, radios, clothes, even the money we used to buy food from the canteen with. Before the war, there were 6 to 9 people in each cell, but they started putting 15 people in the same cell.
Yousef was meant to be released in November, but Israeli authorities told him he had to stand trial again. No lawyer was made available to him. He was sentenced to another 6 months and transferred to a different prison. It was there he met many men who had been detained since the beginning of the war.
They were in a miserable condition. They were handcuffed and the bones in their hands were clearly visible. Their skin on their backs had peeled. They crawled on the ground because they were so weak. They had no food. They had no water for washing themselves. They had no clothes. Some of them hadn't showered in months. The rule was that they were beaten 3 times a day. They were forced to say and repeat the worst words about themselves. Bad smells came from their dirty bodies and wounds. You wouldn't believe they were human beings.
Yousef's daughter was 4 years old when he went to jail. He never saw her again.
I was in Nafa prison during Ramadan when I was told my daughter, her 4 children, and her husband had been killed. The last time I saw her, she was 4 years old. On the first day of Eid, we were beaten badly, regardless of health conditions or age. We were all humiliated that day, deprived of food, water, clothes, and soap. When the police officer told me that I could go home, I said I didn't want to be released. She asked why. I told her because the last time they said that, they took me to another prison and beat me.
Cases like this highlight the reality of life in Gaza. Palestinians released from Israeli captivity are unable to return to the life they once knew. Their homes are no longer a safe haven. Their family members and loved ones lost, with only their memories to hold on to. Hani Mahmoud, Jazeera, from the central part of the Gaza Strip, Palestine.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.